All right. Welcome everybody to another episode of The Torp, or the Oil Rig Podcast, as it's the legal name is.
Torp.
Torp.
Let's go.
Yes. We're big fans of The Torp here. And as you all might remember, my name is Faiz and my co-host here is Greg.
Howdy.
Say hi to people, Greg.
Howdy to Oilers Nation in Edmonton or abroad. Yeah.
We're international.
Against Morgan Riley. McDavid, what a move! What a play! What a goal! Hensky works it in across the line, cutting in on goal, he scores! He just ate up Robin Rodier for dinner. Smith, three clubbing right hands! Right hand Talbot, big right-handed shot from Mike Smith! McDavid scores! Game winner! Series winner!
Speaking of torpedoes, I'm going to use this nice transition, right? I'm going to start this one off with talking about my main man, Evan Bouchard.
Mm.
You know, just going out there setting other NHL records and, you know, scoring that hat trick. I was heavy on the my group chats, just, you know, doing my laps about how good he was that game. And every game as well, I think, personally. But
as long as it's not in the fall. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he doesn't show up in October. He could not be a bit.
Yeah, but I guess like part of it is relevant because of just the Oilers, and then part of it is with the Olympic snub potential. There's still time. There's still time for someone to get injured.
I don't know if we should be talking like that.
It's just true. I'm not hoping for anything, but
I mean, like, honestly, what a crazy 2 games is what I would say. Like, that Capitals game was nuts. Like, it looked like I was there, and it was just a roller coaster of emotions going up and down. Although, you know, with your Team Canada thing, every time Bouchard scored a goal, I turned to my friend and said, I think that's a Team Canada shot.
Yeah, man, it might be nice. It might be nice.
I think the best, though, is seeing all the social media and him starting to get more due from people. People being like, all right, yeah, he's pretty impressive. Or at least his supporters coming out of the woodwork, I guess. But
right. Emboldened,
there's the word.
Mm-hmm.
Word of the day.
Wow. It's like I'm awake or something. Yeah. Just that takes the Oilers some time to heat up. It takes the Torp some time to heat up.
Exactly. By episode 10, you know, we're gonna be
that. Just wait till 2033. We'll be good. Yeah, I mean, so it's been a crazy week for the defenseman hat tricks. Obviously, Ekholm as well.
Yeah,
and there was lots of, I guess, like thought put into like why Bouchard is. And honestly, it's funny to bring up Team Canada because it's never in the conversation. But like McDavid loves like opening up the ice, hitting the trailer. Same with Draisaitl. You have players with that like elite vision. You can find Bouchard obviously got the amazing shot, the bomb or otherwise. Like he's that one. There was one where he just like threaded it through top cheese far side, like right off the bar. Like, man, crazy shot.
Yeah, his wrist shot from far is definitely up there in terms of one of the best in the league. And, you know, obviously his slap shot gets all the praise and all the headlines and stuff. But it really is like when he kind of cocks his stick to get that wrist shot going, like it's almost more dangerous because when he's doing that way more, what's the word, like thoughtfully, I guess. Like he knows what he's doing. He's waiting to see if that shot arises, where sometimes the slap shot's the slap shot, right? But I mean, the other thing too is watching that game, for instance, is like the play that's not just passing the puck necessarily. Like the keep in at the end of the game before we tied it was huge. And then in overtime, like he gets that puck, the loose puck is tripped, and still manages to whip that puck down the ice.
Yeah.
So, like, you want to talk about effort level that everyone talks about with Bouchard, but he won us that game through effort level as well as just having, ridiculous offensive skills.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true. I mean, it's like a bit outdated, but I would say like I've been writing about the Oilers for maybe like 5 years now. And from the start, I kind of identified the similarities between Bouchard and Dougie Hamilton, where you have this bigger player, bigger defenseman, uh, obviously the right shot, and people hear that and they have a certain image in mind of like how they're going to play, and both of them, like, they're not as punishing as their height would indicate, but their skills are obviously so above the average NHL defenseman. And I would say like Bouchard at this point, to compare him to Hamilton is maybe like a disservice to him. I mean, belongs on Team Canada. He belongs as one of the best defensemen in the league, and it's more than just like being a tag along for McDavid and Draisaitl. Is like his playoff scoring is like better than Makar's. Like he's way up there, man. That's a little bit shocking, actually, that it's not even a bigger conversation how big of a snub he was,
Yeah, I was like, you mentioned Dougie Hamilton, and I'm like, we are way past even Dougie Hamilton at his prime. Like,
yeah.
and like, yeah, Bouchard, he's tied with Makar in the league, defenseman scoring in points, and he's got 14 goals, so he's fourth. He's one below Makar in goals as well. He's 5 below Werenski in the league of goals. Like, he's good. Like, he's like to put this image out there, or this opinion out there that everyone seems to have, that he is just a merchant and he's not that good of a player. It's like, you can't, like, sure, you can point to Tyson Barrie leading the league in
I was gonna bring that up too.
and like, fair enough, but at the same time, like, this isn't a one-off season, I think, is the bigger point of it.
Right. And in some ways, like, it kind of felt like what I was going to say is like Barry almost got in his prime, like, more respect for his defensive play. Like, it wasn't until later, till after he was traded for Nazem Kadri, that people started being like, oh, maybe his defensive.
Do you remember when it was like, there was like the rumor, or like whatever it was like Nuge for Barry, and like Colorado fans were like, there is no way we would do that trade.
Yeah.
And yes, I'd say a fair amount of Oilers fans were like, I don't know, but we were so defense starved at that point.
Right.
Considering it, which is like, if we get rid of Bouchard, you know what's going to happen? The conversation 6 minutes after Bouchard gets traded, you know what we really need, guys, is an offensive top 4 right shooting defenseman.
Yeah. Never mind the kind of like the lack of options on the right side that the Oilers have. Like, no shade to Emberson or Regula, who are kind of like, I have like faith that they can blossom into more concrete options, but like, yeah, I mean, if Bouchard is gone, it's gonna be tough. I mean, luckily Wallman can play his weak side, but that's maybe the only saving grace.
But it's just like, you trade him for what, and it goes back to the old, okay, Bouchard is Bouchard, but like, another defenseman could be anything. It could even be a Bouchard.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just comical at this point that there's people who are still, I think we talked about it last time, even if you sign, if he is as perfect of a defenseman as everyone wants, he is the best defenseman of all time. He is better than Makar, and he makes more money than anyone in the league. Like, not saying that's what he is. I'm saying,
right, if that was the case,
that people seem to be asking of him.
Right.
Like, and you know what? Like, he's gonna have flaws. Every player does. So it's just, I just get a kick out of people either like just like holding on for dear hope that, like, on this position of he's actually not that good. Like,
yeah. Underestimate at your own peril is what I will say.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so, I don't know, man. And then, I mean, it's hilarious. Then Ekholm, his partner, gets a hat trick the next
Right.
game.
Right. Right. No, that is definitely the more surprising of the two. I
Oh,
mean, yeah. Ekholm still has some pretty good offense. I mean, obviously Oilers fans have been spoiled with Bouchard of like seeing something so elite close up, but he can powder it, man. Like he's
yeah, he's like regularly on pace anyway, like a 40-point defenseman.
right.
Like
He's
his
not
first
Chris
year.
Tanev. Yeah.
No, no, and he's
Mm.
like look at this. Like his first year in Edmonton, he came in hot because the entire team was just guns blazing that year. So he had 14 and 21 that, after the trade, 45 the next season, 33 last year, and only 65 games. He's got 26 and 54. Like he's a 40-point defenseman.
Yeah. Right.
And you add to it his defense, his like he's brings obviously such a big role to the team. So
Right.
it's nice to see him get that hat trick. And I know, was it his first goal where he makes that behind, like the play on the rush where he gets the
Yeah.
puck,
Yeah.
makes a super thick pass and then gets it back.
Continues to the net. Yeah.
I
No,
remember
like
when I saw that, I was like, that is so sick. And then I was like, Ekholm?
what?
I thought I almost felt like
Yeah.
that scene in the Mighty Ducks where it was like Goldberg scores and the Bash brothers in the penalty box like Goldberg, Goldberg.
Yeah. No, I mean, it does kind of speak to, I guess, to do some positive Stan Bowman talk of like
Mhm.
just how good this blue line is. That I mean, we're talking about Ekholm being a 40-point player. Nurse is probably in the same boat. Wallman is at least in the same boat.
I
That's
mean,
a.
to be fair, 3 of those 4 defensemen were not brought in by Bowman.
It's true. It's true.
Wallman was, though. Wallman was.
It's true. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. But it's been, I mean, Stastny is like, there's
Oh my god.
there's a
Love
lot of gas there, man. Like this blue line is humming, and I think players like Bouchard, to his credit, and also Ekholm and Nurse, because Nurse often
Mhm.
doesn't get any love. Is like to
Yeah.
have like maybe let's focus on Ekholm and Nurse. Is like to have a 40-point defenseman who's big enough and strong enough to push like the power forwards out of the front of the net. Like
Yeah.
that's a very rare thing to find. Like I know maybe someone's Corsi doesn't look as good, but like it's it's a very um limited amount of people in the world that can even hope to do that.
Well, and, like, that's the thing, when they're all at their, like, when they're at the top of their game, like, and I mean, when I have that qualification mostly for Nurse,
Nurse.
'cause he really is he gets one way or the other, but, like, at the top of their game, like, if you look at Nurse, Wallman, and Ekholm, you've got 3 defensemen who, can be a little bit more aggressive on the back end. They can all move the puck. They all have some offense. Like, you talk about two-way defensemen, so
Yeah. 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 Wallman, Stout, Bouchard on the penalty kill. Like it's a really stacked blue line in a way. And yeah, and it's nice to see, I guess, to like, yeah, it's not all Bowman that built it, but moving off of Kulak and finding a way that we're still feeling nice about this blue line, I think is
well, the
a great spot. Yeah.
Stastny move was genius in that play, like, in that
Yeah.
trade, and, like, I think that's a really underrated part, and I think you have to give him credit as well for, being proactive and not being like, "Well, we got Emberson and Regula, so, we'll
That's
see."
enough. Yeah.
It was like, "Okay, if I'm trading Kulak, what's my backup plan?" So, yeah, like, I think in that sense, and then Emberson, hand tied behind the back with the Broberg signing, so you go out and get Emberson, and he's looked pretty good this year. He's at a career high in points again, tied his career high in points, I think.
Right.
Actually, no, let me double check that. No, sorry, he had 3 more points last year, but
Oh,
there were only
it's
49 games in,
on
so
on pace for a career.
on pace for a career year is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
No, and again, it makes me chuckle whenever you just see anyone from outside Edmonton or frankly even inside Edmonton be like, "Oh, this is the worst defense in the league," blah, blah, and it's like, "No, no, it's not." Like, they definitely have their moments, don't get me wrong, but, like, if these guys are on it, it really is a great, great blue
Mm,
line with not
yeah.
really no real weak points is what I would say. Like, obviously, you maybe don't want to be having Stasny and Emerson out against McKinnon, but you're also not like, oh crap, they're out against McKinnon. We're 100% getting roasted.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think maybe this segues nicely into a conversation that's maybe related. Is that how well Skinner's been doing in Pittsburgh? Do
Yeah,
we want to talk about that or no?
yeah, we should
We just
talk about it.
want to ignore it?
No, I'm happy. I'm happy for the guy. Obviously, I think a lot of Oilers fans are, and I think whether it's coping or whatever. I think
Yes.
at the end of the day, was he going to do that again in Edmonton? To a certain extent, maybe, because we know how he is. He goes on hot streaks like this.
Hmm.
Um, at the same time, it's like, was this year, was he going to ever have that hot streak again? It's hard to say because it was really negative. Like, I think, he mentioned, there's some quotes out there of just like, you know, being happy about the change of scenery. And I think that's probably a huge deal going from hockey mad Edmonton with the high expectations to going to Pittsburgh, where obviously they still like their hockey, but they're in a playoff push, but it's kind of,
Yeah, I
there's less
think.
pressure, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, so much of it, I guess, is maybe you just needed a fresh start. I mean, you
Mhm.
could also look at it like this is the hometown team. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I I keep bringing up the players that we disagree on, like
Mhm. Yeah.
like Nurse
Always.
and now Skinner. It's just testing you, Phase. Yeah. No, I I don't know. Like I was always kind of more in a pro Skinner camp than
Mhm.
most people. And we'll see how time goes. I think he's a really good goalie. Actually, is he a bona fide starter? That's another question. That's another question. But I think there's so much good about him, and whatever he's like way up there on in terms of like playoff accolades among active goalies. You could say that none of that's because of him, but I think that's a little unfair.
Yeah, I
Could
mean, what I
say it's
will say, his in the third round, especially both years, he was the reason why we beat the Stars. And in terms of the finals, I don't think he was the reason, at least the biggest reason why we lost to the Panthers either year. So, maybe that goes to that he did kind of step up when it really mattered, but we also don't get out of the first two rounds each year with him.
right. Yeah.
Or at least,
No.
yeah, like,
The
so, but I mean, at the end of the day, no, like, I'm happy for him, and I think it's not surprising to see him do better. Is he gonna keep it up? Who knows? And I think you look
right.
at Jari again, there's a lot of stats watchers out there, and they're like, "Well, he has, 884, that's worse than what Skinner had, like, what are we doing here?" And, there's a couple of but I think, we've talked about maybe how in a couple of those games, it's a last minute goal, garbage goal that didn't matter that drops that save
Right.
and goals against average. I don't know, watching him, it's his athleticism and mobility that I think is huge, and I think this switch, to a certain extent, almost I think shows how different teams can do better with different goalies, just like different goalies can do better with different teams. I think
Mm,
the Oilers are a pretty decent defensive team, like we talked about, and you look at the fancy stats and stuff. But I think we all know watching them that they are not like they will give up a lot of grade A hand grenade chances. And I think having someone like Jari, who's a little more athletic,
might help.
like yeah, exactly. And so, and I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's what Fisher did so wild for a while because he was the same kind of thing, right?
Mm.
So, I mean, granted,
I,
Ingram's pretty good, and I don't know if Ingram's that kind of goalie, but
I mean, to your point about just like the match of the team and the player, like it's one thing that I sometimes thought about with Skinner, and maybe will continue to think, uh, in terms of goaltending, versus like some wingers that join the Oilers. Like, for example, like if you're not on the first power play, it's going to be hard to get a lot of points. And
yeah.
through the years, there's been a lot of Oilers wingers who have been, oh, he doesn't have enough points or he's not keeping up. But it's like, yeah, but like how much room is there for him to like be scoring that much, you know? So it part of I think it is just kind of related to the way that the Oilers play, where
Yeah.
it's going to be hard. for a goalie to have like a 920 save percentage because that's not the way the Oilers play. It's high octane, like that's their strength.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna go, and like their score effects exists, like there's gonna be things. It's like the Oilers can win 7-4 and it's not a big deal. And
No, totally. I mean, like, I think, the interesting thing about that winger thing is there was a strategy which I think every Oilers fan agreed with, which was let's
mm,
get these guys who maybe came off a down year, who are veterans, that's some history. We can get them for what are seem to be cheap contracts for someone with that history, pump them with Draisaitl and McDavid, and they're gonna do well, so it works out.
mm,
But it's like you're saying, like, kind of the way now, especially we're seeing how the top 6 is set, is there isn't actually that room there, like, a lot of the
mm,
time. Podkolzin came out of nowhere, especially to be a staple on that second line. So now you've only got one spot. And
right.
so it's like Mangiapane, I don't mind him necessarily, but yeah, he's not playing with the points. And when you're at a $3.6 million cap hit, that's where this issue arises.
Yeah, I mean, the Podkolzin was like maybe just in a historical sense, like a good example of what I was thinking of, where it's like he's playing so well, he clearly adds a lot to the top 6, but I don't really care how many points he gets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to look and see 35 to 40 at the end of the year and be like, oh, what is he doing up there? Like there's so much that this team needs from outside that top power play unit, like where I don't know how much I'm so worried about yeah, that like worrying about how much like scoring the middle 6 wingers do to an extent. Obviously you don't want them to get outscored when they're on the ice, but
I mean, yeah, and I think obviously there's the issue, and it's come up quite a bit in terms of ice time distribution with whether it's the younger guys or the third and fourth line, and it's true that even like we have the depth that those guys, especially the third line, a lot of times should be playing 15 minutes a night. Like I don't think they're weakness, and I think now like you're seeing like, I mean, now Howard's obviously in the minors, which I'm not a huge fan of, but, you had Howard, Rosovic, and Savoy as your third line that could, like, to your point, we're not getting outscored. They were creating chances and stuff. So I think that's kind of what the Oilers need to be looking at and, having these guys that can play that third line that are willing to accept that role, but have the skill to be a 2B, 2C line, even if you want to be
right. To
pessimistic.
fill in
But
on that Draisaitl Podkolzin line. But yeah,
well, it's more just like, you know what, you have your 2 lines, have them played, a decent amount, but you've got the depth again, let the other lines cook. Like, if you can rest those 2 lines X amount of time and let those other lines go on and play almost a regular shift, you're saving those top guys, and then when it becomes a power play or when it becomes end of the game and you need them fresh, they're good to go. So, instead of
yeah.
3.6 on Mangiapane, I don't know, you spend 1.5 each on, well, I mean, Jack Roslovic is obviously a different
Yeah.
scenario.
Just wait for like a slow played market to shake someone
Exactly.
loose. Yeah, that's why I think we were talking about this in our Slack, is that there may be some thought as to like, should Roslovic get extended right
Yeah.
now to like a long-term deal? It's like a dangerous game. A dangerous
Oh my
game.
god.
Where do you stand on this Roslovic extension
I
talk?
think, like, I love the guy, but and I've always liked him even when he was in, Columbus and New York and stuff, but he is the definition of a streaky scorer, and he got off
Mm,
to a hot start, and that Oilers needed that obviously, but, like, he hasn't had a point in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game like, sorry. Yeah, his last 5 games, he hasn't gotten a point. He scored 2 goals before that against Vancouver, and then he was 5, 6, 7 games without a point again. Like, he's a streaky scorer. And so, this is exactly the same thing is, especially if he's more being relegated now to your third line, with maybe spot duty with Draisaitl on the second line. Are you getting value for $4 million? I know the
yeah.
cap's going up, but still, are you getting that value? And I think I saw someone, I can't remember who it was, but, they're just like, "Wait until the playoffs," and I think that is a good
Yeah,
indication. We're always talking about how this is a playoff team. If he shows up in the playoffs, okay,
different story.
whatever,
Yeah.
different
Mm.
story. Just like I think Jeff Skinner showed up. I think he showed up all season, but he definitely showed up in the playoffs the few times he had a chance.
Mhm. I was gonna say that's how Henrique ended up with his contract, right?
Exactly, yeah. Well, and
Yeah, I
Brandon
mean,
Berry.
yeah, I'll say that like it's definitely like yeah, especially because you have a bunch of young wingers coming in, and I would put like Savoy and Howard and Hudson kind of in this conversation
Mhm.
with Roslovic and Mangiapane, where it's like they're not going to be on power play one. I'm not going to expect them to get 60 points.
No,
That's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? We need to find another way to measure what they're going to bring, and we need to like value what that is going to be appropriately. You know what I mean? So Roslovic had a ton of success early, and I think maybe it's not sustainable, but also maybe he's not a center. Maybe he was putting up his career best numbers because he was in a top six with other good players as a winger, which is probably where he belongs. I know that his face-off percentage is quite well, and it's not like he's been a black hole at center, but I can't help but feel like this is a terrible time for Henrique to be missing. Because I want to see if he can be the third C. I'm not sold on him or Roslovic at this point.
well, and I mean, that's true, though, like, Henry comes back, uh, you've got him in the third line C, and now you got even Roslovic and then be on that third line with
Yeah,
Henrique, like,
and
it's not
yeah,
like Henrique
Henrique and Savoy, like that could be a good line.
could be, and again, it goes back to that's 3 players who, have some instincts offensively, defensively. You can get them out there. They can go play, and have hopefully a positive impact, assuming the chemistry is there. That's what you need to be going for, and I think as an Oilers fan, when you're evaluating, like, yes, look at the numbers, it's always kinda important, but it's like Podkolzin. Name me w Podkolzin could have 0 points this year, and I still don't think a single Oilers fan would hate the guy, and it's just
Yeah,
like, just go out there and play. If the team's doing good and you are not looking like a liability, uh, that's all we need.
right, right. It's almost like well, maybe if he didn't have a point, it'd be one thing, but if you
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
just try to separate like the difference of
Are you
like
saying I'm being hyperbolic?
never.
Never once. Never once in my life.
No, no, uh, um,
I do wanna go back to that Ekholm hat trick though, and
oh, yeah.
just peak comedy is him scoring a hat trick, and the next day Sweden being like, "We're naming a replacement defenseman, and it's not you."
Yeah, man. Who did they name instead for those living
Lindholm,
under a
Evan
rock?
Lindholm, which, like, Lindholm's good, he's been pretty good, but, like,
Oh, Hampus. Okay, wow.
Hampus, yeah,
Oh. Well,
yeah.
Edmondson also got injured, right? So I think
That's who he's replacing.
oh, so
I think
it's
actually,
twice
wait,
now that they passed
no,
him up.
wait. Did Ed no, I'm checking this 1 second.
Yeah, we gotta get on because I thought initially it was
Oh, Brodin.
yeah, Brodin got injured, and then I don't know if they named someone after
Oh, yeah,
that.
you're right. No, it was to replace Brodin.
Okay.
Um,
But
that's
I
what they
think between then, I think for me, like
but
it kind of
Edvinson's
came
not on the team. Edvinson's not on the team yet. Like,
no,
he
no.
wasn't on the team. So,
No, I was saying he's a potential guy that would have been named that was
yeah,
injured, so their options were even smaller than they were before.
yeah.
I wrote about how it might be Edvinson as someone I would look at. It might be Hampus Lindholm, you know, or
I
if
think
you
yeah.
wanted a righty, it might be former Oiler Adam Larson. And
I
yeah,
think,
I
yeah.
guess
Edvinsson to me seems like the most just looking at the fact that they added Broberg especially, it definitely seems like they're kinda looking towards the future as well, um, unlike, maybe 2 North American teams. But, I think it's because of that then that I would say Edvinson would have had the inside
Inside
track.
track.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really impressive. Not that I would guarantee take him over Ekholm. I think some of it was I was looking at just the construction of the defense,
Mhm.
and really the Brodeen role. It it kind of seemed like it was going to be we need a defensive left shot to play with Eric Carlson
Yeah, and who
because
do
we
we
had.
know that is a defensive left shot that plays with a really offensive-minded right shot defenseman?
If only there was someone.
Only
If only there was someone.
someone.
Well, it's exactly what they did at the Four Nations, is they had
Yeah.
Ekholm with Carlson, at
Yeah.
least at the end of the tournament. And I guess maybe it didn't go well for them. I don't know. I don't know
I think,
why.
yeah, I think there's the rumor that, like, the coach just really doesn't like him
Oh,
for whatever
oh,
reason.
really? I haven't heard
Yeah.
this.
It's all over
Wow.
it's all people are saying,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
apparently that he doesn't like him for whatever reason. So, I mean, again, we talked about it though, as an Oilers fan, kinda not upset about it. Like, him being
Yeah,
injured in last year's playoffs was a huge disadvantage. So if he
huge.
needs any rest or anything, then it's better for us selfishly. Um,
Right. And I guess we were talking about the blue line before, like the Oilers blue line, lots of good things to say, but the most irreplaceable one might be Ekholm, just in his stability, like
yeah.
if Bouchard goes down, there might be other Oilers who can pick up the offensive, like Jake Wallman on power play one, and I'm sure he's going
Exactly.
to do well. Like,
Even Mertz has shown in the past he can play the
yeah,
power play actually
yeah,
with those
even
guys.
and
So,
bro, Ekholm can too, probably.
yeah.
So, but to lose Ekholm for the Oilers would be like devastating. And honestly, I'm surprised they did as well as they did in the playoffs last year. Like, given like he was
Well, that
injured
was
like the whole
Wallman.
second half. Yeah,
That was Wallman stepping up basically, right? So that
fair,
that
fair.
trade would end up being huge.
That's a good point. Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good deal.
I I know we're, like, talking about the Olympics a lot and still far away, but this is, I still think, relevant. Do you think the Szymanski call-up was a little bit of, "Let's get you in the room with Draisaitl a little bit
Yeah, a hundred
before the
percent.
Olympics?"
100%. Like I heard, or at least that was when I saw it, that was like my whole thing. It's like, oh my goodness, like they're doing him a huge solid. Like, come up, be part of the team. Like, this is your moment. Like, you got to be ready. And I think like we did talk about this too with the cream jerseys. It's like you got to keep the room happy,
Yeah.
And this is a very like smart move, a very emotionally intelligent move, I would say, from the Oilers to do this and to keep Draisaitl happy and to give one of their prospects like kind of some room to breathe, to be part of it, like so I'm a big fan, like regardless of how much he plays for the
Yeah.
Oilers or how long he stays up. I
Yeah.
think it was a very smart move to do.
Well, and I think that's always even Olympics aside, like, he's obviously been doing really well down in Bakersfield as the number 1 center. So I think a lot of teams is the same thing kind of with Hudson. It's, "You have been doing well, we're gonna reward you, um, because, hey, now you're up for a few days, you get that NHL paycheck instead of that
Yeah,
AHL paycheck."
you don't have to take the bus, yeah. Or
Exactly.
your bus rides are shorter.
They're just to
This
the
is
airport.
yeah, the hotel or the arena. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, like I think that's kind of what it was for, and I'm with you. I think it's a nice move. It sucks that Howard is the one that had to go down, and I think I kind of mentioned this in the article I wrote for our Sunday census about what the Oilers should do with Pickard.
Right.
And the issue with Pickard is we saw with Kapanen going down and then Draisaitl having to leave the team. We're down to 11-7. So it's now hurting the team to have him. And in this case, if Pickard isn't, if we're not running 3 goalies, Howard is still with the team. There's no reason to send him down.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. And we were talking about it last pod as well. It's of just like, is this decision to like hoard the 3 goalies and not make a decision there, is that going to come back to bite you in other ways? So obviously, like I'm cheering for Howard. I hope it works out.
Mm.
But I don't think it's a big deal. Like he's going to be up and down this season. I think mostly what you're looking for is just some growth. It's his first year as a pro. Like, no matter how many games from this point on he plays NHL versus AHL, I think
Mhm.
it's the bigger picture. It's next year when Mangiapane's not here and we trade Frederick, who's going to be in the lineup?
Traded Frederick. Oh, okay.
No, I tried to slide it in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you on that one. Yeah, I mean that is a thing, right? We talk about Pickard, but I guess there is also both Mangiapane and Frederick blocking that. And then of course Noah Philp goes on waivers today, one day
Right.
after the deadline, where the Oilers could have picked him up and sent him down immediately.
Right. Yeah, I had so much hope for Philip. It was just like a really interesting story, and um, like it seemed like was faced with a lot of different challenges in his
Mhm.
career, and managed to keep finding ways to come out the other side stronger. In a way that reminds me of like another player I tracked for a long time is Zach Hyman. Is like it seemed like when like when he was this age, he was too old and he's not going to turn into anything. And there was some growth. Obviously, Philp has a long way to go before
I
becoming a
mean, I
Team
was
Canada snub.
I think a more apt description that I was thinking of, or
Uh,
comparison I should say, is Derek Ryan.
oh yeah, that
Guy
makes a
later
lot
in
more
life
sense. Yeah,
who finally cracks it.
the
And
Golden Bear. Yeah,
well, yeah, I don't think Philp was actually a Golden Bear. He's just from
right,
Canmore. Oh no, he was. Sorry, yeah, he was. I don't know who I was thinking of. But yeah, former Golden Bear. Came in a little bit later. Obviously, he took a year off instead of
right.
getting much to Europe. But yeah, and then comes in, could easily be a third, fourth line center for a while. I don't know. I think I would still consider picking him up, assuming we can do it with the cap, picking him up and sending down Szymanski again. Like, I know it's only been one game, so that's kind of, man, but if that opportunity arises, or
Yeah.
maybe the deal is if he clears, the Oilers can trade a Mangiapane or Frederick to Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, fair.
I'm sure they
Fair.
would do that.
They have some cap room, I guess, but he really only played a couple games with the
He only
Hurricanes
played
and he
2
got
games.
injured, right? So the jury is still out on whether he can do it. I have like a lot of hope for Phil, but I am not expecting a reunion with the Oilers,
No,
I'll say.
no. I'm
Just
not either. But,
trying to read the tea leaves here. Anything else you want to hit here, Phase?
well, there's the poll to pick Germany's flag bearer, and there's Draisaitl who's in there. Now, the issue, and someone brought this up, is that the Oilers' last game before the break is February 4th. And the opening ceremonies of the Olympics is like 2 days later. I think it's like the 6th or something. So it's kind of like
Right.
he's got to hop on a plane like right away. But I mean, whatever. He's just going to carry a flag. But
Yeah.
that would be cool, obviously, and a cool thing for him. Like we talk about Ekholm being great to play the Olympics. I'm sure Draisaitl
Right.
would love to be that. Have you voted
Yeah.
for him?
As well, I'll say like as his friend, which I am not.
You're
He
not?
does not. He does not know me. Yeah. um,
That's crazy.
I would want him to do it if he wanted to, but just like as a neutral outside observer, like I don't want it to be him. Like there's so many athletes in the Olympics.
True.
That this is their like biggest moment, and like
Mhm.
Draisaitl's famous all the time. Like there's definitely people who need it more. So that I was like,
No, that is
I
a
don't
good
know.
point. Yeah,
I
I do agree with that.
like there's so many athletes that they train just as hard with everything that they can, and this honor to like represent their country might just mean so much more for. So I think if I was naming a captain that or a flag bearer, sorry, that would be part of my equation. It would be like, we could go with like this famous millionaire guy, or like we could go with like someone more unsung who's like a real, you
Yeah,
know,
I guess the question is, it's the best German hockey player of all time.
It's true. He
So
deserves it. He
it's
deserves
not it's not just
it.
it's not just, we're not talking about I don't know, we're not talking about I was
Anthony
gonna say
Cirelli.
Jason Robertson for Team USA, but he's definitely not being the flag bearer.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Or
I
like a Patrick, like I think more like it's not like Patrick Kane. Like Patrick Kane is not would not he's one of the best American players of all time. I don't think he'd
Right.
be considered the best of all time. And so I don't think he would be like I
Yeah.
think that point for being a flag bearer for the United States.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that like there's a lot of good answers, and
Yeah.
he's one of them. Let's call it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm also living under a rock, you know? Like anything that's not to do with like hockey is, I guess this still kind of is about hockey.
Oh yeah, no,
Thanks.
I'm not gonna pretend to be an expert in the Olympics in any of the sports.
All right. All
Granted,
right.
during the Summer Olympics, I become a diving expert, air quotes for
Oh.
our listeners. It's just there was a splash. Nope, not a good one. And
Yeah.
that's
Well,
that.
I do love watching all the sports. Like, I was thinking about how excited I was to watch hockey and like to watch like Germany play Italy or whatever the case may be. Um, but then I'm like, oh man, but it's also my chance to watch this and that and the other. Like,
Yeah.
the Olympics is a special time. And I don't know. It's interesting to think about like, obviously, I want to see best on best hockey, and we all do. But I don't. Yeah, there's so much more to the Olympics as well. That's I think it's almost in my head two separate things.
Yeah. But I mean, I think I really do wonder if by having the best on best hockey, it draws more people to watch the other sports, right?
In
Like now
general.
it's the one that brings people in, and then you're like, okay, well, the channel's showing another sport.
Right.
So
I'm also hearing about John Montgomery and then
exactly.
Skeleton or whatever the case. Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, the other thing I just realized is when we play San Jose tomorrow,
Mm.
what's on the line there. Will the
Oh.
Oilers win 3 straight in a row finally?
Oh, hey. Well, that we'll see. They're gonna do it at some point.
Are
It.
they? Are they though?
I think like it would be poetic if they did it um in June, you know.
To win a
But
certain game in
so to
June?
win maybe the fourth playoff series in their year, yeah. That would
That
be a
would be
nice poetic way to do it. But I think it will happen before
If you have
then.
tickets to tomorrow's game, or really until this happens, any game that like this is a scheduled loss at this point. Like,
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is, if you have the tickets, you just give them to someone else at this point, maybe like a podcast host or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Oh. Wait a minute.
Nope.
No comment.
Yeah. My
Oh
my bank
man.
account hates to see an Oilers game coming.
Yeah, you need to write more articles.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I need gotta bang out like, 60 in a day to
right, have a chance.
yeah.
You're sneaking in like a hot dog in your coat pocket. Just
No,
can't
they
buy
got like
food.
the AI scanners now. I don't think you can do
Oh
that.
wow. Okay. Well, hey, I haven't gone to many games recently either, so I will say it's been a while. So it looks like the upcoming schedule 4 games before the Olympic break.
Yeah.
Sharks, Wild, Leafs, and then back to back Leafs and then Flames.
Yeah.
Then the day after. So nice way to end it. Battle of Alberta.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and Leafs the night before at home, like it's gonna be
Yeah,
definitely gonna
two
end with a bang. That's for sure.
two really easy games to go into the break. Yeah.
I mean, not gonna say it. I feel like our other two partner podcasts would take some issue with that.
Oh no, we won't.
There's no we word
I,
again. Oh my
I,
God,
I
Greg,
think
pick
I
a
think
side.
I think everyone will be cheering for the Oilers in those 2 games.
I was just thinking of that,
Mhm.
I'm thinking of that, Aaron Burr, the Hamilton quote, like, if you won't stand for anything, what will you fall for?" So,
Right,
you
yeah, your poor dumb friend Greg.
I got it. This is why we need to keep getting guests onto this show.
I know, I'm trying, Face, I'm trying my best.
Trying to torpedo the
Um,
Torr Fest. Yeah, I see it.
uh, uh,
I'm kidding. I'm
yeah,
kidding. It's good. It's good to have someone who's a
mhm,
little more impartial, I would say. I mean, you're still
right,
for the Oilers, but, you know,
yeah, no, I cheer for and against many different people. Most mostly for. I'm not really that mean-spirited.
not a hater.
Not a hater. I'm not a hater. No, but I I don't know. I can't be giving away like my origin stories, but I early on in my life, like I don't know. Yeah, there's some not cheering kind of built into my
Yeah,
my
definitely.
person. Not cheering built into my person. Yeah. So I think like I don't know. It's not that I don't care. It's not that I don't cheer for the Oilers, but I'm along for the ride. You know what I mean? Like win, lose or tie, I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna have players that I'm cheering for, keeping an eye out for, things that I want to see. I'm always interested. Like, but again, I just told you I was looking forward to watching Germany play Italy. So
Yeah,
I don't have a life. Eh?
that's fair. That's fair.
Um,
We'll put a poll up, and the followers can decide if they vote you off the island or not after every episode.
oh no, yeah.
Was Greg a fan or a hater today?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Um, I keep my allegiances secret, yeah. It's personal.
I do not.
I'm editing all this out, by the way. No
Okay,
one can
fair,
know.
fair.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
No, I don't know, Faze. Do you have anything else today or
I don't think so, like, nothing that I
uh,
can think. I've been trying to come up with, like, a TikTok idea, and I was trying to,
uh,
like, go back between, like, the double hat trick or Ekholm getting a hat trick and not
right.
just couldn't find, like, a great sound for it, and then
What
okay,
about the
let me know
nickel thing? If I
if I
had
had
a
a nickel.
nickel.
I think I did that. I used that sound recently, I think, and I don't really love,
It's corny.
doing it.
It's dead. Yeah. I mean, there was like but more so like there's something like funny because they're both the Olympic snubs. They're
Yeah.
both the
Actually, maybe I just do it. I don't think people are gonna be like, "Ah, use the sound again."
yeah, bro. I mean, I don't know. You can't talk to me. I'm like I can't do it with this using the sound thing. I don't care. I don't care about the trending sound. I I'm so sorry, guys.
That's
Make
fair.
your own sound.
That's
It's
fair. No,
like
I think I actually am gonna use that one though, so thank you for that.
I don't know. I just I'm just an old man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if I don't have anything else, so I guess should we just sign off then?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess let's go over the bill message one more time
I think I brought up the flag bearer thing because I saw that.
because it was on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's in the chat? The Oilers chat.
Yeah,
So
that's almost,
Philpin,
I think, a better way to do
I
it. Like,
know. Yeah.
what were the
So
people fired up about this week?
Philp and Ekholm
Uh,
not signing guys or signing guys
mm,
and then doing nothing. Oh, we haven't talked about McMahon, but I don't know if we.
Bobby McMahon?
Yeah, have you not heard about that?
What
Have
about
you-
it?
What?
What do you mean? He
That
got traded?
He's being linked to the Oilers.
Oh, he's being linked to the Oilers. Yeah, okay. I mean, he reminds me a lot of another former Leaf that has joined the Oilers and
So you're
just
talking about
being
Cody Creasy.
no. It's
Mason Berry?
a winger, Zach Hyman.
Okay, okay. I know you're talking
Uh,
about Hyman.
not Jack Campbell either. Yeah,
Not Jack.
no, he's just like he's a late bloomer,
Yeah,
like Hyman. And there's so much to like about him. I really appreciate guys who have that like kind of late career growth. I
yeah.
think that like aging curbs be damned. Like yeah, I guess we talked about it in the Phillips thing a little bit too, but yeah, he's big,
Obviously,
he's fast, he's a great player. I think the Leafs would be maybe a bit foolish to trade him, honestly, and they might regret it, just like they regret not keeping Hyman.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the question I have, because I don't really watch the Leafs that much, because
But
fuck them.
why
But
would
like,
you?
would you? Only crazy people do
Yeah,
that.
it's
But, like, is he really going to be a Hyman, or is a more apt description say Dustin, or not Dustin, Connor Brown?
I mean,
Because like Connor Brown was, I mean, obviously it's a slightly different story, but Brown was a guy who had all these traits, was a 20 goal scorer. Like, there was a lot of discussion about could he be another Hyman? Like his point totals with the Leafs are very similar to McMahon's.
right,
Um,
right. I mean, I guess it's around that area. What I would say is McMahon, like he's so fast, so
mhm,
big. Um, and once he's kind of gotten this, like Nathan McKinnon had a similar thing where like maybe wasn't scoring early in his
mhm.
career as much, and then he kind of learned to like shoot on the stride,
Yeah,
in a way where like it's a force multiplier between like just this speed is just incredible. It makes him so dangerous off the rush. Whereas like Hyman is definitely like more of a net front guy than McMahon is. McMahon's definitely like more of a rush scorer is the way I would describe it. Um, he's gonna be screaming in on the rush is mostly where he's gonna get his goals. Like,
so does he fit with Draisaitl in that sense? Like, do you take does he fill the captain role, or is he
yeah, no,
one of
that's
those
a
third
good
line guys we talk about?
yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it. Maybe like because I think like I do love the the Podkolzin and Draisaitl chemistry there, and I think that having some speed on their wing is what I would be looking for, no matter the line mate, whether it's Roslovic or Kapanen or McMahon. Is like I want someone like Draisaitl, someone that's going to stretch the zone for him, because Dry is just so good at manipulating space. Like if you're going to give someone to open it out, it's like he might struggle with like playmaking, but also the guys that we're talking about who also are in that role, like Kapanen and like Roslovic, are not necessarily like great playmakers. So
Isn't
I think it
I
would be
agree.
a great fit. I think
Yeah,
I think it'd be a great fit. We'll see what it costs.
yeah,
Part of the appealing thing of McMahon is that his contract is just so small that he's probably one of the easiest guys for the Oilers to afford from a cap perspective.
yeah. Obviously, then he's a UFA, so but that maybe is better because if he doesn't work out, you're not stuck with him.
All right. No, I've got a lot of time for McMahon, and I think I don't think he's a guy that's going to not work out. I think like I've seen just so much of from him in terms of like working his way up from the ECHL to this point now, where I don't think he's going to be like a flop era. I think that his best years are still in front of him, even if it's not going to last 5 years. I think his next three are going to be his best seasons probably, and he's probably going to set at least a career high once in that time frame. Yeah.
Cool. So
I'm a big McMahon fan.
yeah. All right. Well, now you convinced me. So hopefully that rumor is true. We'll see how it actually
I,
goes. But
yeah, it would be smart. I mean, I still think like I would be prioritizing a center ad. But that's just me for the Oilers. Uh,
mhm,
yeah, I would want a defensive center. Like I talked about Ryan O'Reilly being like
mhm.
the
Yeah.
best option, but maybe not one that's likely to happen.
Yeah.
So that is more the player that I'm thinking about uh, wanting, but that's just me. Yeah. But the Leafs, yeah, it's looking bad. So they might be selling a lot of people. Like maybe if I'm looking at the Leafs for options for the Oilers, it's like maybe Nick Waugh, maybe Scott Laughton. I think
Oh,
those might
line.
be,
Yeah.
yeah, those might be, I think, what I would rather prioritize if I was the Oilers. They might come a bit cheaper as well. Like, um, to have that roster flexibility. Laughton's just such a gamer. Not as much offensive upside on those two, but like
Mhm.
to have just like someone you could trust as that 3C, and especially with the young guys like Howard and Savoy and the offensive guys like Roslovic, I think that that's actually going to stabilize your roster a lot more than adding another scoring winker is going to. But that's just my thoughts. Yeah.
No, I think that's a fair thought. I mean, I'm going back to if you're actually willing and wanting to run 3 to 4 lines that can play hockey, like that are
Mm,
maybe not defense first, but at least defensively responsible, but are pushing the play offensively to match how the team plays, then McMahon might be a better option there.
no,
But
no. It's a good point. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people on either side of this
yeah,
argument.
just get
Yeah,
them both.
yeah,
And
exactly,
wait,
exactly.
Frederick and Mangiapane and bring those two in.
Yeah, yeah, no, that would be nice. No, I mean, yeah, I definitely like if we're thinking back to the Florida series last year, like I think part of having that um the bottom six lines of like if they're able to play against better players than they
Mhm.
are, and it frees one of McDavid or Draisaitl to like feast on someone lower in the opposing lineup, like that's that's where it starts to be really hard to keep up with the Oilers.
Exactly.
So we'll see. I mean, is Henrique already that guy?
I think to a
Is
certain extent he is,
yeah,
but his offense is definitely dried up. But
yeah.
if
Like
he's pushing,
I'm not necessarily certain that we talked about Nick Waugh and Scott Laughton. I'm not certain that they're much of an improvement offensively either. So, I mean, obviously, I hope it's Ryan O'Reilly would be amazing, but that's not going to happen.
never say never.
I'll happily be wrong about it. How about
That's good.
that? Oh, you got a good ramble out of me. Sorry, Faze.
Yeah, no, I love that. That was a good one too because I literally was like, volume man. Looking at the stats, he seems pretty good. I know nothing
No,
else about him.
some of my friends like who are not like insane hockey people, but like just more they watch a few Leafs games a year. They're like, he's one of our best players. Like, why is he the only one who plays with heart?
Yeah,
Like he's got even the casual fans is like it's noticeable. I have a lot of time for McMahon. Yeah. I just talked about how the Leafs shouldn't trade him actually about an hour ago. Yeah.
hey,
So,
you're playing both
I
sides, so that way you always come on top.
anyways, man,
Yeah,
do you want to sign us off?
yeah, sure, I'll do that. Yeah. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us for another episode of the Torp. Um, just make sure to, if you like the episode, to like, follow, subscribe on wherever
Five
you get
stars,
five
thumbs
stars
up.
as well, 5 stars as well. And again, check out the articles that we write for the oil rig. In case you can't listen to us, you can read about us or read what we say.
Right. It's
No,
not about
it's
us
not
very
about us.
much.
That would be, no one
Very
wants
much.
that. All right. Thanks, guys, again, and see you next time.
Oh, thanks, Faze. Kapow.